Good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning, April 18th, 2022, and here in Massachusetts, it is Patriots Day, the day where we remember the beginnings of the American Revolution and the famous Battle of Lexington and Concord, but also, more currently, today here in Massachusetts is the annual running of the Boston Marathon. And I have very much enjoyed taking part in this New England tradition. No, I don't run in the marathon. But as kind of like a celebration of my New England heritage, the last few years I've been cooking up, last several years in fact, I've been cooking up a huge pot of our seminal and signature New England dish for this day. And that, of course, would be Boston baked beans. These beans have been slow cooking all night in a cast iron Dutch oven, and it's been about 9 hours since they went into the oven, so it's time to take them out and see how it looks. Here we go. Alright. Looks like the pot did not boil over. There's no spillage, so that's good. Here comes the fun part. Oh boy! Holy crap! Ugh. Oh boy. Those sounds were not exaggerated. Whew. This is, of course, a huge cast iron Dutch oven. It is a number 12 size Birmingham Stove Range Century Series Dutch oven. It's about 13 and a half inches across at the top, and it has about a 12 quart capacity, which is what is needed for what we see on the inside. And what is on the inside? Well, this. Haha, here we go. That's interesting. Never saw that before. Alright, there we are. Our Boston baked pork and beans. The pork shoulder is a kind of my own tradition. Boy, this thing's deflating and everything. You saw the little air bubble there? That was amusing. But nonetheless, oh yeah, these beans definitely look like they're ready. Looks like a lot of them, the shells have come open. Just at a glance, I would say this is definitely done. But there is one way to tell. Where did I just put those tongs? Where did I put those tongs? They were just right here in front of me. Excuse me one moment. Alright, I'll have to get another pair. Oh, there they are. That's what I get for doing this live. Okay, but as I said, there's one way to tell if these beans are done. Or if this pork is done, rather. Oh, that was easy. The bones come right out. Especially this one. There we go. Take a look at that. Comes out clean. We know this pork is thoroughly done. So, time to start scraping this off. The initial fat cover, or fat cap. Never saw it inflate with an air bubble like that before. It's something new every time, it seems like. And that, it doesn't, this is not difficult at all. Just get rid of this extra fat on top, which I'm reserving. Could always cook something with that. And once we do that, we'll be able to remove the rest of this pork shoulder to a separate dish. And start, come on, okay. And start shredding it. Boy, this isn't taking long at all. So, from here, let's dig out our utensils. Here's one and here's the other. I've learned from experience that if I try lifting this whole thing out, it's going to fall apart. So, got to do this carefully and in pieces. There we go. See what I mean? It falls apart. So here's one piece. Here's another piece. And what we have left is a big pot full of beans. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the better you feel. We'll be having beans for our next meal. There we go. So far, so good. And what we have left, again, is a pot of thoroughly cooked Boston baked beans. Seems I have a waiting list for beans this year. There are at least a couple of family members and friends who have already said, put aside a container of those for us, which is what we will be doing. Right now, though, how can I change my perspective a little bit? Let's move this around a bit. Doing this for years. By now I should know what I'm doing. What I can do is move this aside to here for the moment. Put this pot aside just for the moment. I'll bring it back into perspective or into view. Holy crap. Because now we get to do some shredding. And this is the easy part. This stuff is so tender. All we have to do, take a couple of forks and fork it up. Big forking deal. Alright. Well, buried in here, there are still a couple of bones left over. And when we find them, like this one, I forget what they call, it's not a kneecap, more like a shoulder cap. Here's one. That goes away. Somewhere in here is another piece. That goes away. And there we go. Now we're getting down to it. The cost of everything has gone up recently, unfortunately. The market I got this pork shoulder from often had this big pork shoulder at 99 cents a pound. This year it was a little bit more expensive. I think it was like maybe $1.29, $1.39 a pound, which is still not bad. So I was able to get a pork shoulder, a 10-pound pork shoulder, bone in, at not very much of a cost, all things considered. And the result, once again, we've got ourselves a huge pot of baked beans and a huge bowl of pulled pork that we are just going to have to get rid of. We're going to have to eat a little bit of it, give a whole bunch of it away. Oh, what a shame, right? Getting rid of these extra globs of fat there. Compare this, I mean, as much as I grew up on B&M baked beans, B&M's Boston baked beans, and even though they are definitely the best store-bought baked beans you can get in a can, if you go through a can of baked beans, do you find any actual meat anymore? I mean, it used to be, if you look through the whole can, you found maybe one little piece of pork fat. Nowadays, you can't even find that. And even as I'm talking, it seems like one of my little four-legged house guests, permanent house guest, is crawling up my leg at this point because, ooh, it's food. I smell food. And I would think pretty much everybody in the house can smell this stuff. But this sure isn't taking long, is it? I know, Mobley, I know. Oh, Mobley. Hold on. Oh, she moved. Hey, Mobley. Alright, but there we go. Just like that, we've got ourselves a whole bunch of pulled pork. And now that we've gone and pulled our pork on camera in front of you, and I hope I don't get in trouble for that. Oh, let me see if I can get a shot of her now. Whoops. Oh, well. Oh, she moved away again. Oh, she's clever. Anyway, now that we have a whole bunch of pulled pork here, let's head back to the other star of the show. And here it is again. Ugh. Our BSR number 12 Dutch oven. Which I will definitely say these beans look like they cooked nice and soft, which of course was the whole point. As I said, I soaked these beans in a saltwater brine, especially to soften them. So, get ourselves a spoon and do the taste testing. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it. Well, you know. I'd call it perfect, but I'd be bragging. So, these are definitely well done. Best of all, they still have just a little bit of chew to them. They're not mash, which is really how I like my beans. That's the problem with boiling these beans before cooking, is that it breaks them down and then they really just become a big mash. Oh, yeah. I won't bleed. Okay. And with that, there we go. Now all we have to do is get these things into containers, and we will serve them to our family and friends for Marathon Day. It's a tradition I'm proud to have done for the last several years. Has it been 10 years? It may very well be. This might be the 10th year we've done this. And I hope to continue doing it for, well, pretty much the rest of my life, I hope, but definitely every year for as long as possible. And I'd encourage you to do that too, because any excuse to make these beans is a good one. So there we go. Here are some Boston baked beans for the Boston Bake Marathon 2022. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, folks. Have a good day.